This is Dylan at Salt Pines, and today we're going to be doing the Kwan fly in tan and olive. So this is our finished product here. A little bit of craft fur, crystal hackle, EP fiber, and a little bit of bee chain for a little bit of weight there. So it's one of our favorite flies for our fall time here in Tampa. Here is all the material to tie the olive and tan Kwan fly. First, we'll start with our tan craft fur over here. It's about a 1x1 square. Next, we have our bonefish tan crystal hackle and medium. Then for our hook, we have a Gamakatsu size 2 SL11. Then we have an optional Sharpie here, just for barring on our craft fur. Next we have one strand of black crystal flash, then one medium gold bead chain. And then for our EP fiber back here, we did one bunch of about 60-70 fibers, and we split it into thirds. And then again, we did it for the same thing for the tan back here, split it into thirds. No need to make it too bulky. You know, you want about quarter diameter of a pencil is what we're going for here. And then to finish it off, we tied this with tan thread. We're going to begin our thread about a hook eye distance away from the hook eye there. Wrap all the way back on our tag. Stop when that thread hangs in between the point and the barb here. Clip off our tag. First, we'll come in with our piece of craft fur and tan. If you didn't already, pull out all your guard fibers and everything. Pull out all of our super long fibers. And we're looking for this craft fur piece to be about 1.5 to 2 lengths. So there's about 1, about 2, somewhere right about in there. Not too long, not too short. So we're going to go ahead and secure that on top of the hook. Just like so. Come in and clip our butt ends off. Now you can go ahead and smooth this out for you just to make it easy. Like so. Then we'll come in with our single strand of black crystal flash and fold it over so we have 2 pieces. And we're going to tie those in on either side, almost like a lateral line or something similar. Then fold it over and go down the other side. Next, we'll trim these off about 1/4 of an inch longer than that craft fur, just so they're nice and free and they can flow in the water I don't like them to be trapped at all, so I like to leave them a little bit long. Next, we will come in with our crystal hackle. Tie that in right in front of our craft fur here, wrapping it in as close as possible so we can palmer it forward. Just pull all these fibers out here and get it all ready to go for yourself. Then we're going to wrap this around 4 to 5 times, depending on how much you like, right next to each other, right after the next. So just like so. Each time you wrap it, just kind of pull those fibers back so you're not trapping anything. Just like so. Now you can come in here and capture, and then go ahead and wrap back on it a little bit just to really secure it on in there. Go ahead and clip your excess off like so. So when you can kind of spin it around a little bit, if you have a vise that rotates, grab a comb, toothbrush, anything similar, and just kind of pluck out some of those fibers and stuff to make sure nothing's trapped. At this point, we can come in, and if you have a Sharpie, whether it's in brown, black, since we're doing tan and olive here, I'm going to use kind of like a limeish colored Sharpie. Give it a couple bars, just give it a little bit more detail. It's not always necessary, but I like the way that it looks. Next, we'll kind of come in here and flatten out this area, make a nice little ramp for when we're tying in our EP fibers. Once you got that to your liking, you could advance your thread about, I don't know, a hook eye away from the front here, and then we're going to grab our gold bead chain and X-wrap those onto our hook, leaving a little bit of gap in between the hook eye and where you're tying in these eyes here. If you're fishing in a grassy spot, that's where you would throw your weed guard on. So just want to leave a tiny gap, just enough space for that. And then go ahead and advance your thread all the way back to where that crystal hackle is. Next, we'll come in with our olive EP fiber. Same way we put those eyes on, we're going to come in and X-wrap this guy in here. Keep it loose at first, and then once you get it to place of your liking, kind of pull down on that thread a little bit, tighten it up, and go ahead and wrap back to it just a bit to kind of lock it in there. Next, we'll come in with our tan, do the same thing, X-wrap right on top of the hook, like so. You want to get them pretty close together so you don't really have any gaps. So you'll have a nice finished head when you go to trim it. Everything will line up very nicely. Once you got your tan in there, then we'll go back to our olive. Do the same thing. X-wrap. Adjust. going to tighten her down. Next, we'll come in with our tan again. Same thing, X-wrap. Just do your best to keep any of the fibers from being trapped. You could always come in like we did before with a comb or anything like that. Toothbrush works great. And then for our last, we'll come in with another piece of olive just to fill that little gap there. Depending on how many you like, 5 is always the golden number. Get a good contrast in color. Don't worry about this mess here. We're going to come in and whip finish right in front of our bee chain eyes. That. Trim our tag. We'll kind of come in here and make sure nothing's trapped. Make sure our crystal hackles where it needs to be. And we're going to grab all of our EP fiber here, nice and tight, and pull it straight up, like so. And grab our scissors and lay it right on the eye of that hook. Kind of angle it back. And as you cut, once you get towards the middle, you can kind of rotate it just a little bit. Just like so. That will kind of give you that rounded body there. Straighten them all back, and then if you got a few strays here, just kind of come in, clean them up. To finish this guy off, you can grab a little bit of UV. Just kind of zap this guy. Top, hit the bottom. We'll come in with our light. Sure everything's where it needs to be. Awesome. Got a few strays here. Clean them up. All right. There is our Kwan fly. Very simple, very effective. Use it over sand, use it over grass, mangroves.